Absolutely not, never.
And have you recently testified in court under oath and disagreed with our office?
Yes, just last month.
Okay, and what opinion were you giving summarily?
It was a murder case, and I think the prosecutor's office asked me for a second opinion competency evaluation. I opined that the person was not competent, and then it was actually the defense that asked me to come and testify in court in the hearing.
Okay, so just a month ago, somebody from my office was actually cross-examining you, just like Mr. Milarczyk.
Absolutely.
And you testified about certain things that the previous prosecutor, Mr. D'Angelo, said to you in emails?
Correct, we did.
Okay. And I'm not asking you about his concerns, but was anything that he said to you factually, did you find it incorrect?
No, nothing factually seemed incorrect when I was doing my own review of the records.
Did Dr. Farvar have all the evidence you did when he made his diagnosis about 10 days after the murder?
You know, I'm not really sure what information they had, because the hospital records, it seemed like nobody knew the full story. Like, they were either writing about it in terms of Sydney was about to tell her parents that she wasn't in school anymore, or that she was about to go back to school, something like that. But I don't know exactly what they had access to, but it didn't seem like they knew everything that we, kind of know in here today.
Was there any indication they had the body cameras?
They definitely did not reference having those, and I don't think they would have been ready to be shared by that time. I don't know. Yeah.
Was there any indication in the records they had evidence of the breaking of the window?
No. They actually early on identified her as a crime victim. Like, they thought she was also a victim in the case. It wasn't until later, it might have been after she was formally charged, that they became aware that she was the defendant in the case.
And they certainly didn't have her phone records like you did they?
No.
Attorney Milarczyk asked you a lot about that Dr. Smartnick was prescribing all these medications to Sydney. Do you recall him asking you those questions?
I do recall.
Is prescribing a medication in the DSM-5 diagnostic criteria for schizophrenia?
No, it is not.
Can the fact that someone is being prescribed a medication that can be used as an antipsychotic, does that support a diagnosis for schizophrenia?
That doesn't necessarily mean they have schizophrenia, no.
Were you aware, you said you reviewed Lauren Curry's statement, correct?
Correct.
Were you aware that she said in that January and February time period that she and Sydney would actually wake up at the same time each morning, get ready, and then go out into the world?
That does sound familiar, yes.
So, did Lauren Curry say that she would leave for class and Sydney would just be sitting in bed doing nothing?
I don't recall ever seeing that.
Now, in the ambulance, we saw that, and we've seen it in several reports, that Sydney kept repeating, "Get out of the house," correct?
Correct.
Did she ever report in any day after the murder and for 3.5 years any hallucination of an intruder?
No.
The test results that Mr. Milarczyk kept asking you about, are the scoring and the interpretations, are those are those based on the responses Sydney gives herself?
The most of that testing that I believe Attorney Malarczyk was asking me about was the malingering test that we have to give, and those are done in either an interview format or question and answer, where the psychologist will ask the question, and then yes, the client would be the one to say yes or no to that.
I guess, Dr. Obradovich, what I'm asking you is,
We do have to slip in a break, but we'll get you right back inside.